tell, then you see the road. I'm out to my soul into the size whenever the smoke clear out of my face and my picture perfect. Do it. All of that green together, the truth, yeah. Tell you the
Hello and welcome back, fellow anime lovers, to Cypherfics. I am delighted to have you join us once again in the world of fanfiction and fantasy. This is the fourth part of, What If Dannyphantom Enters Luigi's Mansion? Special note, this fanfic is written and a masterpiece of Phantom Fan 21 on FANFICTIONnet. Do check and support the author too. Now smash the like, share and subscribe button for more. Also press the bell icon so that you never miss such great parts. Thanks for the introduction. Now let's dive into the world. Thanksgiving break was over and everyone was back at their classes. Mr. Lancer was walking around, handing their book reports. When he reaches Danny and Bow, he smiles. "Here you are, Mr. Fenton and Ms. Scarestare. I'm quite impressed," he said. Danny looks at the paper and smiles. "A B. We got a B. Awesome," Danny said, glad it wasn't his average C or a B dash. Danny turns and hugs Bow, who blushes at it. "Thanks, Bow. I really couldn't have done it with you," Danny said. Bow tries to fight her blush back down as she returns the hug. No problem," she said. Paulina notices them and growls. It was started to become clear that Fenton and the new girl were becoming the top talk in school. And everyone been going on how Bow was prettier than her. She looks at her test and saw she had an F. Paulina knew if her father found out, he would cut her allowance and her phone. She turns to see Bow give Danny a quick kiss on the cheek as they went over to see what they did miss. It was only later, after class, that Paulina saw Bow by her looks with a lovesick look on her face. Paulina had enough. "Well, look at what we got here," she said. Bow turns to her and sighs. "What do you want, Paulina?" Bow asked, annoyed. "I heard you got B on your test. Which is pretty lousy for someone that is smart," Paulina said. Bow rolls her eyes. She knew what Paulina was trying to do and she wasn't going to let her. "At least I have a good grade unlike you since your grade is an F," she said and walks away. Paulina stood there, shocked before she screams. She couldn't take it anymore, first her shirt, second the changes of the school, third sending her to detention, and now this. "Oh, this is the last straw," she thought as her eye twitched. She turns and saw something on the billboard and walks up to it. She saw there were a few size-up sheets and notices there was one for band class. That class was always filled with geeks and freaks. Paulina looks around and did see anyone watching her. She reaches for the pen and looks for a place to place Bow in. She saw 2 spots open and there were singer and piano player. She had to pass singer after the video Mikey posted up show Fenton and her singing together. So she forged Bow's name under piano player and smirks. That will teach her to stand against the queen of Casper High, Paulina thought. After school was over, Danny took Bow to the Nasty Burger as a means to celebrate their grade. Bow was surprised to find the food there was really good for something called nasty. However, she couldn't help but felt nervous about her father appearing in Amity Park. She might have told Danny about it, but she was still scared of what would happen. Danny notices and saw her sorta sink below the table. Danny reaches out and pats the top of her head. "Hey, don't worry. We'll face him together. I won't let anything happen to you," Danny said with a smile. Bow sat up and nodded. They share a kiss as Tucker and Sam watch. "Really, guys? We're eating here," Tucker said, annoyed. Sam just stare at the two before getting up and walk away. "Sam, where are you going?" Tucker asked. "I need to get away. I'll be at the bookstore," she said. After eating, Danny and Bowsette flew around town holding their hands. Bowsette couldn't believe how much had changed since she got out of her castle. Not only did she met and became friends with the one boy she had a crush on, but they were now dating and half married to each other. She never felt so happy in her afterlife, but then Helen called and informed her that her father was coming. She was very scared and unsure of what he would do. But Danny was going to be by her side. She felt her biggest harm act up again but fought it back down. She was not going to do that with Danny until he was ready. Danny turns and looks at her, seeing her in deep thought. "Bowsette?" he asked, making her snap out of her thoughts. "Yes?" she asked. "Are you still worried about your father coming?" he asked. "Yes, and I scared of what he would do to you," she answers. Danny stops flying and hugs her. Bowsette was surprised for a second before returning the hug. She always felt warm and safe in Danny's arms. "Remember, I'm here for you. Your father won't touch you," he said. "Danny," Bowsette said before they share a kiss once again. The next day at school, Bow was finishing up her class and was about to leave before Mr. Lancer spoke up. "Ms. Scarstare, just a minute, please," he said. Bow stops and looks at him as he walks up. "Now, Ms. Scarstare, I'm sure you heard of the curricular sign-up sheet for band class, corrected?" he asked, getting a nod. "I must say, I'm happy to see you join a school activity." "Wait, what?" "Mr. Lancer, I never sigh for any school activity," Bow said. "Well, your name was on the sign-up sheet. Here is the way to the band classes. They are starting up soon." Mr. Lancer said send her on her way. Bow didn't understand, she didn't recall signing up for anything. Annoyed and confused, Bow headed to the band class. What she didn't know is that Paulina saw her and smirk. She was able to sneak her phone back and follow Bow to catch her failure on camera. Bow found the class and sat down in an empty chair. She looks around and saw some students from her class and some she never has seen before. It wasn't long before the door opened and Bow as the gym teacher Ms. Tetzlaff walk in. "All right everyone, listen up. Your music teacher ate the school special and it got her sick. So I'm taking over as a substitute teacher. So get your instruments out," she said. She looks around and saw some students take out their flute, clarinet, a brass horn, trumpet, tuba, trombone, but saw one that didn't have an instrument out. "Ms. Scarstare, why don't you have your instrument out?" Ms. Tetzlaff asked her. "I don't know how to play most of the instruments that everyone else has. But I do know how to play the piano," she said. "Is that so? Well, then head up in front of the class and play us something," Ms. Tetzlaff told her. Bow was shocked and got up. She walks over and sat down. She was nervous and could recall on piano teacher yelling at her for messing up notes. She hated the piano and was glad to get away from her lessons. She then recalls what Danny told her before they sang on their first date. Taking a breath, she blocks out everyone and thought she was doing this for Danny. Paulina saw from the door and held up her phone, ready to record what she thought was payback. Bow started to play and everyone stood there shocked, even Ms. Tetzlaff. Paulina was frozen stiff. She didn't know that she hit live on her phone to show everyone that Bow was playing. Bow kept playing, not noticing everyone was watching her. Her mind was on Danny and no one else. She finishes and turns to see some of the students clapping and Ms. Tetzlaff acting like she was not going to cry. Beethoven Key Moonlight Sonata. Very few people can play that, she said, impressed. Bow sighs and Paulina couldn't believe it. By the time she looks at her phone, the video was already uploaded. Her plan backfire on her big time. Later, Bow enters band class and look at the piano. She sighs and sat down again. She hated the piano, she hated playing Beethoven Key Moonlight Sonata and she hated her piano teacher Amadeus Wolfgeist. Still, she couldn't deny that the piece always helps her calm down when she plays it on her own. She did just that. Danny was outside getting his books out of his locker after a long day of class. He was about to head towards the school doors when he heard some piano music. Wondering who was playing, Danny walked to the class and saw Bow playing the piano. Danny listens and smiles. He had no idea his girlfriend was so good at the piano. Wow, you're really good, he said, causing her to mess up a note. Bow turns and saw Danny there, who looks sheepishly at her. Sorry. I didn't mean to disturb you, he said. It's fine. I just have a lot on my mind, she said. Your father? Danny asked. Not just him, Bow said. Danny sighs and sat down next to Bow as she continues to play. Danny listens and looks at Bow. He could see that she was really calm. Danny looks down at the piano and presses a key. Bow thought she messes up again but heard the same note. She turns and saw Danny hit the key again with a smile. Then Danny started to play a small song he heard in a movie called The Corpse Bride. Bow blinks and started to play as well. Soon the two were performing the piano duel scene and laughs. They ended the piano playing and Bow kissed Danny's cheek. Thank you, Danny, she said. Heh, don't look so down, Bowsette. You look cuter when you smile, Danny said. Bow smiles and hugs him. Thanks for cheering me up, she added. Anytime, Danny said and returned the hug. Christmas had come to Amity Park and Bow was walking with her friends, and she had to admit she was a little creepy out with Sam greeting everyone. Merry Christmas. Happy Holidays. Happy Hanukkah, she said to people that all look at her strangely. They soon saw a fellow classmate that Sam walks up to. Merry Christmas, Mikey, she said. You are being cheery. It's a trap, Mickey shouted and started to run out of the mail. It's a trap. Bow just blinks. It is not just her that thought a cheerful Sam was a weird Sam. Bow looks around but didn't see Danny anywhere. Normal she would wonder where he is, but this time would be great for something she needs help with. Tucker, Sam. Can I ask you for something? She said. What? Tucker asked. This is my first Christmas and I want to know how to spread the cheer, as you say, she said. Are you asking us how to wrap a gift for Danny? Tucker asked. Maybe. Bow blushes. Well, I'm sure he would love to see you wrap up. Tucker smirks as Bow faces turn red. Tucker, she shouted in embarrassment. Tucker couldn't help but laugh so hard he fell on the ground. I'm joking. I'm joking. Oh man, that was priceless. Tucker laughed. Bow puffs up her cheeks and slaps Tucker for the idea he put in her head. As Tucker rubs his red cheek, Danny walks up and Bow was about to talk to him when she notices the look on his face. Danny? She asked. Oh right, I almost forgot, Tucker said and sighs. Ah, perk up, Danny, he said, patting his back. I know you're in your annual holiday funk, but this is the one time of year Sam isn't instantly dour, he said as they turned to see Sam. Have a kickin', Kwanzaa, she said to a man that looks back at her. Bow then saw Tucker pull out a hat with a mistletoe on it and started to walk up to a lady that was walking by. Bow shook her head and turns to Danny, who still looked upset. Danny? Are you okay? She asked. I'm fine. I don't want to talk about it, he said. Bow blinks and decided to not ask. However, when Danny heard someone else wishes a happy holidays, he snaps. I hate the holidays, he screams, shocking Bow. I don't get it. How can anybody hate this time of year? Sam asked as Bow nodded and looks at Danny. I don't even celebrate it and I love it, she added. That's right. You don't know about, Tucker stops before looking around, the fight. The fight? Both girls asked before they heard Maddie's voice. Santa Claus is a ho-ho hoax. Everyone turns and saw Jack and Maddie next to the Santa Claus line and was appearing to be arguing. Heretic, Jack shouted. Santa's real as real can be. Don't listen to her, kids. He added. Bao blinks, truthfully she didn't this whole Santa Claus thing. While she liked the idea of giving gifts, she still didn't know very much about it, she wasn't even sure if her family even celebrate it. She looks over at Danny who was getting more upset. Santa's coming tonight in his sleigh full of goodies. Jack said, making a few kids smile. Keep the ho-ho-hope alive. He added, but Maddie wasn't done. Flying at that altitude? In the open? At that speed? She asked before getting up close to Santa Claus. He'd pass out. Or burn to a crisp from friction. It's scientifically impossible. Maddie yelled. Bao blinks, she couldn't believe it. Danny's parents were arguing over a person that most kids believe. She has been hearing about Santa Claus and seeing her future in-laws fight was new to her. If you need me, I'll be in the ghost zone, Danny said holding up a bag. Getting rid of some frustration. He added. Bao felt sad for Danny, this was the one time of the year that it was supposed to be happy and jolly but Danny wasn't feeling that. Bao started to look around before spying a store with a space theme to it. Knowing that Danny loves space, she decides to get him something for a gift. My first Christmas with my boyfriend. I really hope he likes my gift. She thought. In the ghost zone. A ghost known as the Ghost Writer smiles as he finishes the book he was writing. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good fright. He said before smiling. Ooh, oh that's good. He said. And it's done. My first Christmas poem ever. Complete, the Ghost Writer cheers as his book formed together. Outside, Danny was still upset and toss out a few Christmas things before blasting them. You better watch out. You better not cry. Danny growls as he fires at each item he tosses out. Santa, no Santa, Santa, no Santa, Santa, no Santa. Danny shouted as the fight reappears in his mind. Every year. Danny screams as he threw everything out of the bag. And I've had it. He added before blasting everything in sight. The Ghost Writer steps outside still smiling until an ecto-ray hits his book and destroys it causing him to gasp. Oops. Sorry, man. It was a total accident. Danny said flying up to him. Oops. Oops. He yelled at Danny. Do you have any idea what you've done? He shouted. Well, not really, hence the accident part, Danny told him. You destroyed my greatest work. And that was my only copy. The Ghost Writer shouted. Danny blinks before seeing a paper float down. He grabs it and reads the title. The Fright Before Christmas. I destroyed a Christmas poem. He asked surprise. Awesome. He cheers shocking the Ghost Writer. What? He said angrily. Dude, I am sick of Christmas. I came to the ghost zone to get away from it. Danny told him as he held up the page. I might not have meant to destroy your stupid book, he said before using his powers to destroy the last page. But that doesn't mean I'm not okay with it. He added. The Ghost Writer shook in rage. He never met someone that hated Christmas so much that they didn't even care about others. Scornful child. Scrooge-like urchin. He shouted as his power was shown. Danny floated back a bit but kept his guard up. And you are? He asked. The Ghost Writer. He shouted as a ghostly keyboard appears around him. Every word I type on this keyboard becomes real. He added. Danny was started to get worried now. Before he could speak, the Ghost Writer started typing. And since you destroyed my Christmas poem, you shall become my new Christmas poem. He said. Danny tries to stop him but felt something pull him away as the Ghost Writer laughs and typed one more. On the day before Christmas in Amity Park, almost all there were cheery, yet one soul was dark. Danny looks around trying to find out where the voice was coming from. Hey, that voice. It's that ghost. Whose book I destroyed? Wait, I'm trapped in his poem. Now I'm really annoyed. Danny said in rhyme. Bowsette woke up and smiles. It was Christmas and she had to admit she was feeling the cheer. She turns to Danny's gift she got him and smiles. She got up, shower, and headed to the mall to meet up with her friends. But when she got there, she could have sworn she heard a voice. Dannyphantom hates Christmas. He hates it a lot. Which is why I've inserted the boy in this plot. He'll go through this tale until the story is ended. Bow looks around before seeing Danny growls. She was about to walk up to them when she hears something odder, her friend speaking in rhyme. But you can't make me rhyme. Danny said. Hope your new year is splendid. Sam said. You will be quite surprised by what I can and can't do. But I'll leave you your freedom, so I can teach you, when you lash out at others, there's enmity earned. You're stuck in this poem till your lesson is learned. Danny sighs before Tucker and Sam step up. Who are you talking to, Danny? Said Tucker, confused. Some annoying ghostwriter. We're all being used. I blew up his story, Danny explains. No hint of remorse. Now he's writing a new one, we're trapped in by force. He added. But Tucker and Sam merely shrugged in confusion, completely convinced of my ghostly illusion. Bow blinks and steps up, she knew she heard the name ghostwriter before, she just couldn't where. Plus it looks as if Tucker and Sam didn't believe him. Which really confused her. Has he always been moody and glum in December? Sam asked. A big, whiny Scrooge, long as I can remember. Tucker answers and sighs. His very first Christmas, when he was a baby, a bad first impression. No, if, but, or, maybe. His parents debated on Santa's existence, forgetting their son might have need of assistance. Caught up in their rift and that jolly old fellow, they didn't see Danny's white Christmas turn yellow. Tucker explains. Bow gasped in shock. His parents had been doing this ever since he was a baby. But Tucker didn't end there. And the one 4 years later was clearly no winner. Still arguing Santa, they spoiled Christmas dinner. By spoiled, I should say, brought the turkey to life, serving BLD and revenge with a fork and a knife. He said. Bow shook her head. It was because of Danny's parents arguing over Santa Claus every year that caused Danny to hate Christmas. I've said it before and I'll say it again. A sled cannot travel the globe at Mach 10. Maddie shouted, causing Bow to turn to her. But Jack Fenton bellowed. You're wrong. Wrong, you hear. Bow notices a few reindeers close by and were starting to become irking by his voice. And never once thought he'd be spooking the deer. And just because this would annoy him the most, I decided to make every reindeer a ghost. Bow gasps as her ghost sense appears and turns to seize Danny's. She turns back and saw each reindeer become a ghost and started to cause trouble. She quickly ran to find a place to hide so she could help Danny. On Spooky, on Spectre, on Death Hoof, on Thrasher. On Maimer, and Vicious, BLD Antlers, and Slasher. Danny blinks before getting ready. I'm going ghost. Came his signature cry. And into the fray, Dannyphantom did fly. Confronting the reindeer with powers quite ghostly. Protecting the last-minute shoppers. Well, mostly. Danny tries to stop the ghost reindeers, but they were to knock him away but stop when Bowsette floated down. As if things could get worse, another ghost appears. Wait a minute. The princess. What is she doing there? Leave him alone. She said, and pull out Fenton the Mose that caused the reindeer to fly away. And the reindeer escaped, having torn up the mall. Leaving Danny, yes Danny, the blame for it all. Bowsette couldn't believe how people were blaming him. She saw Danny ignore the thing thrown at him and growls. Enough. She shouted, making the people stop. How dare you blame him for something that wasn't his fault? He tries to protect you and this is how you repay him. she said, making the town people back off. She looks back at Danny before helping him up and smiles. Danny notices and smiles back. But Danny's grim Yuletide was only beginning. And later that night, as his patience was thinning, Danny sat on the couch as his parents were still arguing and his sister was looking more annoyed. See? A fat man can fit down the chimney. Here's proof. Jack said as he peeks out from their chimney. That still won't explain how he gets on the roof. Maddie said. And young Fenton sat there, just steaming and fuming, his blood pressure rising, his anger consuming. I won't keep this up. Danny said to the writer. There's no poem if I'm silent. Danny said before Jazz leans in. Can't you make Dad not fight her? She asked. That caused Danny to yell in anger. You think this is over? This all doesn't end until the lesson is done. And you think that I'll learn it? You think you're that tough? Danny asked before hearing his parents again. He exists. No, he doesn't. But Dan screams. Enough. They both stop and turn to him. Can you please let this die? You've ruined each Christmas. Each Christmas, and I can't take any more of this war, am I clear? 14 years is enough. I am so out of here. He said and stomps out of the room. What got into him? Maddie asked. He takes after his mother, Jack said. Can't blame you for losing your cool, little brother. Go ahead, clear your head, and I think you'll be fine. Jazz said, knowing why Danny yelled. She was about to call Bowsette to see if she could help, but their presence started to glow before following after Danny. But taking our presence is crossing the line. She shouted. Danny flew through town before notices that each house had their presents shot out and appear to form the face of the ghostwriter. Now you're ripping off gifts. What is that supposed to do? Danny asked. A. Make a huge scene, and B. Blame it on you. Danny turns and saw people walking out blaming Danny for taking their presents. Then Bowsette appears and blocks a shot that came from his parents. You've ruined our night. Maddie shouted. Drink some anti-ghost tonic. Jack shouted and fires. Bowsette just blocks the beam before Danny flew up to her. Wait, I ruined their night. How's that for ironic? Danny asked. Danny, Bowsette tries to say before he flew off. Bowsette notices hers and quickly grabs it. She sighs in relief as it was undamaged. So Danny did soar through the crisp evening. Look. What's a guy gotta do to get out of this book? Danny asked. And then Danny thought. Wait, my problem is clear. This poem's about Christmas, which is here, here, and here. This curse will stay on me from my town to Rome, but he can't Christmas me in a non-Christmas home. Danny said before he flew over to Sam's place. Bowsette notices and follows him. Danny turns back to human and rings the door to see Sam open it. Sam! He cheers before looking inside. Oh, for crying out loud. He groans as Bowsette looks inside. I know. Can't you see we're all under a cloud? Every present we have, in the chimney. Up through it. That might work for you, but that's not how we do it. Sam said. Bowsette blinks. This was getting weirder. She knew Danny didn't mean all those things. She was about to speak up when she heard the voice again. And Sam saw sad faces on Mom, Dad, and Granny. So I typed on my keyboard that the blame was on Danny. The ghostwriter smirks. You! Sam yelled. You did this? She shouted. Are you out of your mind? Danny yelled. You're the holiday Scrooge. Do you think that I'm blind? Sam yelled back before they start to argue. Bowsette had no idea what was going on and why that voice saw talking as if it knew this would happen. She was about to speak up when the voice did. And Danny and Sam found themselves in a spat. But before Dan could calm her, I soon realized that a new threat was needed to cut through the noise. And what better way than Attack of the Toys? Soon every toy flew from the houses and away from the kids. Even Jazz's favorite toy was taken from her. All three notices and ran outside. They stop in shock as the toy just float there. From all over town, the toys started to merge. I'm really quite wicked when I get the urge. On this night before Christmas, a brand new attacker. And now, face the wrath of my monster nutcracker. Ah, nuts. Danny cried as he started to run. Must we end every scene with a terrible pun? He asked himself. Danny saw the giant nutcracker about to stomp on him, but Bowsette flew in and grabs him, turning them both intangible as the boot slams down. Both Danny and Bowsette phased through the boot and started to attack the Gant nutcracker. Danny fires his blasts at it, causing toys to fall. You think this can stop me? This bear or this train? I'll just fire away, till no pieces remain. Danny said as he destroys the nutcracker. Bowsette looks at Danny wondering why he was destroying the toys. There was something wrong. Nothing to add? Danny asked. Then the answer showed up in the form of Sam, Tucker, and Lancer. And Jazz standing silent, her eyes filled with tears, mourning the bear she had loved all these years. And Tucker and Sam felt that crushing blow, too. Danny notices and felt bad. He flew down and placed a hand on Tucker's shoulder, but he pushes it off. Danny, don't. He said. What's your deal? Sam added. I don't even know you. Jazz said before the three walks away. Danny looks sad before Bowsette walks up and hugs him. She was lost. What was going on? Danny looks around and saw many people looking sad at their destroyed toys. It seemed the whole town had come out to proclaim that Christmas was ruined. The ghost boy to blame. Danny broke the hug and flew off. Bowsette flew after him, knowing Danny felt bad for everything. Save for one little boy in his little red hat. He thought Danny was cool. So we'll have to fix that. Danny and the little boy both gasps as the Christmas tree come to life. Bowsette quickly saves the little boy as Danny turns and saw even more trees appear and people were running and screaming. The siren is wailing, the ghost trees attacking. Lock up your homes, I suggest you start packing. A newswoman said. Christmas is ruined. And you're not the cause. Jack said to Maddie. I sure hope the ghost shield won't stop Santa Claus. She told him. Jack looked upset at her before getting what she meant. He quickly rushes over and turns the ghost shield on. It's Tree Watch Day 1. Hope there isn't Day 2. Let's go to Lance Thunder, our weatherman, who? A newsman said. Can't believe I quit acting to work in this place. There's chaos here, Bill. Not the face. Not the face. He yelled. Jack and Maddie look at each other before Jack notices someone was missing. Anybody seen Danny? He asked. Like I even care. Jazz said, still upset. Maddie looks a bit sad but then glares at her daughter. What's wrong with you, Jasmine? Your brother's out there. Hold down the fort, Jack. I'll go after our tot. Those trees will not stop me. Maddie said before pulling out 2 axes and jumps out a window. Oh, man, that is hot. Jack cheers. While his mother moved forth, Danny faced my attack. Danny and Bowsette stood back to back, blasting the trees away before they heard Maddie call out. Danny! Danny, where are you? She shouted. But he couldn't shout back. Every tactic he tried would be destined to fail. If you hear me, just scream. Maddie shouted. Yeah. With my ghostly wail. Danny smiles. You're what? Bowsette shouted in thought. Danny pushes Bowsette behind him and took a deep breath before letting his attack out. Bowsette watches as a green soundwave attack came from Danny's mouth and destroy the trees. Once the trees were gone, Danny fell on his hands and knees and turned back into his human form. Bowsette kneels down to check on him until his mother appears. Danny! Thank heavens! You had us all worried. When your dad saw the news we stopped squabbling and hurried. It's Christmas Eve, son. Home is where you should be. Let's get back to the house and I'll make you some tea. Maddie said as she helps Danny back home. Bowsette follows them knowing she had to talk to him. Danny sighs as knew this had gone long enough. He got up and opened the door but was surprised to see Bowsette standing there. Danny, can talk? She asked. Sure, why not? Danny said. Danny, I know how you feel about Christmas. I understand that your parents fight all the time. But you can't let it get to you. Bowsette said. Danny sighs and looks at her. I hate Christmas, that is true. But I have to ask, why does it matter to you? He said. Danny, I'm your girlfriend. I'm worried about you. After what happened tonight, I fear something happened to you. Bowsette said. Danny sighs and stood up. He looks out the window and heard Bowsette walk behind him. Danny, please. This is my first Christmas with you, she started to say. And I don't care. Danny said, making her back away. Every year it's the same thing. They argue like it's nothing, Danny said. Why are you speaking in rhyme? She asked. Try as I might, the blame go to me. But what is it to you? You ghost hero wannabe. Danny shouted. Danny blinks as he notices Bowsette's eyes started to water up. Bowsette, he started to say. She said nothing and flew away. Danny looks down before shouting. The ghost shield deployed, Danny turned to this thought. To take on the spirit he knew who had wrought this holiday mischief and left him the blame. Come on now, dear boy. Here's where you call me lame. Danny growls. He couldn't believe he fought with Bowsette, she was just looking out for him and he spat in her face. Give it up. You can't hide. I know just where to find you. Danny said. But I'm still in control. Allow them to remind you. Them? Danny asked. Then he shuddered and trembled. The door had brought him where all his foes were assembled. We've been waiting for you. Skulker said with a grin. Now our holiday party can finally begin. The box ghosts cheer. Danny blinks as all his enemies suddenly started to cheer and started to hand Danny a few things. Eat, drink, and be merry. Skulker said with a smile. Have some warm Christmas goose. Ember added. For surely you know of our annual truce. The box ghost added, surprising Danny. The truce? It's still holding. I thought they'd disband it. To beat on their foe. The ghost rider asks shocked. Oh, this truce, we defend it. We don't fight on Christmas. Skulker said. One day of tranquility. Bertrand said. Come sundown tomorrow. Spectra started before all the ghosts went back to the way Danny recalls them. We resume all hostility. They said. Danny blinks before walking up to them. Every ghost holds this truce. He asked them. It's a fact, Skulker said. It's a rule, Walker added. Well, the ghostwriter broke it. Danny said, making them all look at each other. That is really uncool. Ember said unhappily as everyone else. I'm trapped in his story. The guy's off his nut. Danny told them. He ought to know better, Skulker said angrily. Let's go kick his butt. Box Ghost said, pounding a fist in his palm. Danny smiles and they all rush to the ghost rider. Oh. The ghosts changed there, he said and started to type, but his door was blasted off as the ghost stood in front of him with Danny in the lead. Crud. I have got to type faster. He said and started to type again. It's over, you hack. Danny said. I don't think so, young Mstr. He said as the words appear on the screen. The truce they enjoyed tea was fun while it lasted. Then all the ghosts suddenly started fighting each other as the ghost writer kept typing. Then Youngblood got pummeled, then Ember got blasted. They battled each other with all weapons handy. A framed 8 inches by 10 inches of my half-brother, Randy. A clock, and a candlestick, those I won't miss. He stops and tries to think of something else. I wonder what else. He thought out loud. I know. How about this? Danny said before grabbing an orange and threw at Walker's face. He threw it at Walker who? Oh, crud. Nothing rhymes with orange. The ghost writer shouted. And like that, the spell on them was broken. Now free, they beat up the ghost writer. After knocking him down, Danny turns to the keyboard and blasts it. Roses are red, violets are blue. Once these fry, I'm guessing this lame poem is through. Danny said before notices something. No. Danny screams. The ghost writer said. I'm still talking in rhyme. Danny yells. I would have forewarned you if given the time. There are 2 ways to finish this poem, just 2. I'd tap out the end but I can't, thanks to you. So now you'll guide this story. Think you can do it all mopey and listless? You think this ends here? You're about to get burned. This story's not done until the lesson is learned. The ghost said as he was taken away. Danny looked sad and flew away, each of his enemies watching him and felt bad. With the keyboard all busted, the curse takes its toll. The story continues, but I've no control. Danny walks through the town as the Christmas decorations disappear. Danny said and saw down. He soon saw his friends and sisters walking up to him looking sad. Dude, like, it's Christmas. So why are you here? Tucker asked. Outside, with no friends or family near. Sam added. Danny groans and covers his face. It's my fault. All my fault what happened tonight. I spoke out in anger and acted in spite. I started this all when I picked that first fight. But I'd give all I have to set everything right. Danny said, not knowing each of the gifts behind them started to fix themselves. They turned and saw the gifts floating, surprising them. The gifts? They're not damaged. Sam asked. They're flying through the air. Tucker added. Back where they came from. But who would? Danny started to ask. Beware. Danny gasps as his ghost scents appear and turn into dannyphantom. He turns and notices all of his enemies behind them, each of them wearing a Santa hat. The box ghost shall conquer this holiday doom. He said. We just couldn't leave you to suffer in gloom. The lunch lady added. Tomorrow you'll see what this baby can do. But all ghosts share the truce, even half-ghosts, like you. Skulker said, making Danny smile. Soon all the ghosts went from house to house, bring the cheer to people. A happy time, for sure. Danny could see all the smiles and happiness that came from people. Making him realize that he was taking his anger out at those that didn't deserve it. I just saw it happen, but still can't believe, your enemies helped you repair Christmas Eve. Sam said, walking up to him. Danny could only smile as he turns to the ghosts. It's all back to normal but your house, my dear. The lunch lady said. Your ghost shield prevents us, Skulker said, handing him a bag and put his Santa hat on him. I'll take it from here, Danny said, turning back to his human form and heading inside. His parents were still arguing before the door opened and they saw someone in the doorway. Ghost! Maddie shouted, pulling out her weapon. No, it's Santa. Jack shouted, getting in her way. They're both sort of right. I know I've been kind of JRK this whole night. So I snuck out and found this. Danny said and had his father a bowl that he opened and started to eat what was inside. It's all of your favorites. And here, Mom. For you. Danny said, handing her a present. Avrits. Jack smiles. And, Jazz? Danny said before pulling out her favorite bear. Hey. It's Bear Bert. He's safe and he's sound. Gee, thanks, little brother. I knew you'd come round. Jazz smiles, making him smile back. Ah, Danny. You're smiling. That matters the most. We're all here together, not fighting some, Maddie shouted to say. Ghost. Jack shouted. They look outside to see all the ghosts wave at Danny and flew off in a sleigh. Jack pulls out another weapon that Maddie stops this time. Jack. No. Put the gun down. That's Santa you're shooting. She said. Are you mad? That's the ghost who all evening was looting our Christmas from us. Jack said. Then it wasn't the ghost boy. Let's tear him apart. Maddie said, pulling out her weapon. Now you're talking. You're toast, boy. Jack said before they both ran off. And that's when I thought, maybe this is the moral, in the same way my folks love their old Christmas quarrel, everyone celebrates in the way of their choosing. I was so busy whining I started abusing the ones I love most and I ruined their cheer. I'll try to be better, come Christmas next year. Danny stood next to his friend smiling. Nice sentiment, but what are you, a greeting card? Sam asked. Yeah. Why were you talking in rhyme? Tucker asked as well. Such a dork. Jazz smirks, rolling his eyes. We're not talking in rhyme. Danny asked, shocked. We not talking in rhyme. He shouted. Danny then stops, there was someone missing of their group, someone that he did bring back the cheer. Let's mom and dad know I might late. They're one more person I need to cheer up. Danny said before turning into his ghost form and flew off. Bowsette sat at her house as she still had tears left from Danny shouting at her. She wraps her arms around her legs and put her face in them. She heard a whine and looks up to see Boopup looking at her. She smiles and pets him. Thanks for cheering me up. Bowsette smiles. She hugs the ghost dog before hearing a knock on her down. Confused, she stood up and answered it. Merry Christmas. She was shocked to see her friends, each of them holding a gift. Huh? What are you guys doing here? She asked. It Christmas, dear. It the time to be cheerful and happy. Shambria said. And it's the Christmas truce. Stuart added. The Christmas truce? Bowsette asked. Yes, it the one day of the year that there is no fighting. Even your father wouldn't go against it. Morty said. Bowsette blinks and looks away. Is everything all right, dear? Shambria asked. Oh, yes, everything is fine. Bowsette said and gave a fake smile. Please, come in. She said, and they headed inside. Once in, DJ Phantasmagloria plays some Christmas tunes as Chef Soulful started to make a meal for them. Bowsette sat down and sighs. She was happy to see her friends, but she wishes Danny was here to enjoy it. Are you sure you're all right? Shambria asked, sitting down next to her. I'm fine. Really? She said, but Shambria sighs. Bowsette, you're not fine. What's wrong? She said. Bowsette sighs and told them about hers and Danny's fight. When she finishes, she looks ready to break down again. The others look at each other and smile. Don't worry, dear, with how things been for him, I'm sure he just needs to let off some steam, Shambria said. You think so? She asked. We know so. You have been stopping the ghost attacks, so he might not be fully accepting it. DJ Phantasmagloria said. Just give him some time and he'll come around, Shambria said. Bowsette smiles and hugs each of her friends. Bowsette then remembers Danny's gift and headed upstairs. She found it and grabbed it. She smiles and knew what she had to do. She heads downstairs and heard a knock on her door. Confused, she set the present down on the table and answered it. She was shocked again to see Danny in front of her house. "Hey, Bowsette. Merry Christmas," he said. "Danny? What are you doing here?" she asked. "To see you, can we talk?" Danny asked. Bowsette notices he didn't rhyme and let him in. Danny was about to say something before his ghost sense went off and turned to see ghosts in her house. "Hey! Phantoms in the house!" DJ Phantasmagloria called out. All the ghosts stop and notice him. Danny looks ready to fight but Bowsette stops him. "It's okay, Danny. They're friends," she said. Danny blinks before each ghost steps up and welcomes him. Nikki, Lindsay, and Ginny couldn't help but to giggle on how cute he was as Shambria and Stuart thank him for watching over her. After that, Bowsette leads Danny to her couch and sat down. "So, what is it?" she asked. Danny sighs and told her what happened for the past 2 days. Bowsette was shocked to hear that it was the ghost writer that made people blame Danny and how he wanted to treat Danny a lesson. "I knew I heard that name before. He must have not included me in it because he knows my father wouldn't like it," she said. "Bowsette, are you still worried that he's going to show up?" Danny asked her. "No, he won't. It's Christmas and speaking of which," Bowsette said before grabbing her present. "Merry Christmas." She smiles and hands it to him. Danny took it and opens the gift. He gasps in shock when he saw it. "No way," he said, pulling it out. "A NASA shirt?" he shouted, pulling it out. "You love space and I thought it would be a great gift," she said. "Thank you, Bowsette. Sorry I didn't get you a gift," Danny said. "It's fine. Besides, you already did," Bowsette said, blushing. "What do you mean?" Danny asked and she pointed up. Danny blinks and looks up to see a mistletoe over them. Danny recalls what that means and blush as well. "I do know kissing under a mistletoe is a Christmas tradition," she said. "Sure. I want to let you know that no matter what happens, I'll always love you, Bowsette," Danny said. "I love you too, Danny," Bowsette said, and they kiss. The ghost writer closes the book and smiles. He looks up to see Walker at the cell gate. "You have a visitor," he said, and opened the gate to show Bowsette step in. The ghost writer bows to her and stood up. "Princess, he started to say before she slaps him. "Are you out of your mind?" she shouted before growling. "You try to teach Danny a lesson about his hate towards Christmas but having the town blame him for your actions?" she shouted, making him step back. "Do you have any idea how hard Danny been trying to show everyone he a hero? You are lucky that I'm not giving the order to cancel your books," Bowsette shouted. But, he tries to say. "Dannyphantom is to be my future husband. Do something like this again and you won't be let off so easy," she shouted. "And Walker, drop all charges on Danny right now or I'll close down your prison," Bowsette told him. "As you wish," Walker said. Bowsette turns and headed out the gate before stopping. On the day after Christmas, the ghost princess stood without any fright and said, "Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night." Christmas passed and New Year was around the corner. Bowsette, as Bow, was heading towards Danny's house in hopes to spend time together. She reaches the house and goes to knock on the door when it opens to show Danny. "Bow?" Danny said, surprise. "Hi, Danny. I hope you didn't mind if I visit," she said. "Not at all. What brings you here?" Danny said and closed the door as he steps up. "Well, I wanted to know if we could hang out," she asks, unsure. "Are you okay?" Danny asked her. "Yes, I'm fine," she said. Danny sighs as he knew she was still worried about her father appearing in town. Danny knew that he would be by her side when he did show up. That's when he got an idea to help her. "Hey, Bow. How about another date?" Danny asked her. "What?" Bow asked, surprise. "It's been a while since our second one, and just because Christmas is over doesn't mean we still can't enjoy the winter holidays," Danny said. Bow looks unsure, but Danny smiles and hugs her. "Come on, I heard the park is still open," he said. Bow sighs and smiles. "Okay," she said, holding his hand as they walk. However, they didn't see someone appear in the air and saw them. They enter the park and Bow just stays close to Danny. Danny smiles as she seems to relax. Maybe he should find them something to do there. Danny looks around before spotted some people ice skating on the frozen lake. "How about we go ice skating?" he asked her. "Huh?" Bow asked, confused before seeing the people ice skate. Danny took her to the stand where they got their stakes and put them on. They head out to the ice with Bow was having a good time. She turns to see Danny trying but ends up falling and landing on his butt. She couldn't help but giggle before staking over to Danny and help him up. The two ice stakes for a bit, through Danny, kept falling down. Bow recalls a place called the Secret Mines that she used to go to with her parents. She recalls her mother cheering for her as her father helped her not only ice skates but ski as well. She even recalls her father bragging about being an Olympic champion, though her mother would always mention that he always got second place since he couldn't use his powers. She notices Danny falling again and smiles. "Whoa!" Danny yelled before falling on top of Bow. The two lovers blush before Danny tries to stand up. "DMN it. I thought I had it that time." Danny groans. "It's okay, Danny, I'll teach you," Bow said, smiling. It was a bit later that they got off the ice and Danny was having a hard time walking. "Ugh, I think my skating shoes give me blisters," Danny said. "Don't worry, Danny, you'll get used to it. In fact, here a tip. Wear double socks layers," she said. Danny smiles and soon heard his stomach growl. He looks around before seeing a person handing out some hot chocolate. "Hey Bow, want some hot chocolate?" he asked her. Bow blinks before nodding. They walk up and got the hot chocolate. As Danny pays for them, Bow looks at her hot chocolate and remembers the time her mother would make it. She sighs and thought about her mother. Ever since she heard her mother was doing all right, she couldn't help but wonder if she was truly fine. Danny turns and saw Bow looking a little down and decide to ask her about it. "Bow, are you still worried about your father?" Danny asked. Bow shook her head slowly as Danny raised an eyebrow. "It's my mother. I sometimes wonder if she really doing all right. I miss her," Bow said sadly. Danny felt bad before walking up and stood next to her. "Hey, I'm sure she's just fine. I know you will see her again," he said, smiling. Bow looks at Danny and smiles. "Thank you," she said, kissing his cheek. What they didn't know, is that someone was watching them and grew very angry at the sight. After finishing their hot chocolate, they started to walk around the park some more. Danny saw a few trees with snow on them and smirks. "Hey, Bow. Can you come here?" Danny asked and lead her to one. "Danny?" she asked. "Just stay right here," he said before walking over to the tree. Bow looks confused before Danny smirks at her and hits the tree, cause snow to fall on top of her. Bow eep as the snow covers her head from toe while Danny laughs at his little prank. Bow uncovers herself and glares at Danny. "You did that on purpose," she yelled at him. "Well, you the sucker that fell for it," Danny smirks. Bow huffs before grabbing some snow and roll it into a ball. She threw it and hit Danny right in the face, knocking him down. Danny wipes the snow off his face and saw Bow giggling at him. Danny glared at her before smiling. "Of course you realize this means war," Danny said, and roll a snowball together. Bring it on. Bowsette already another snowball. Snowball fight. Danny shouted and the two went all out. Snowballs were flying through the air as the two teens laugh from having a great time. Danny then rushes up to Bow and knocks her to the ground. Bow then flips Danny around until she was on top. Give up? She asked. Danny just flips back around until he was back on top. Nope. He said. They both laugh before staring into each other's eyes. Danny? Bow said. Yeah. He smiles. Thank you for being a wonderful boyfriend. She said smiling. Anytime. Danny smiles back before they share a kiss. They broke away when their ghost sense appears surprising them. Bowsette. Both of them turn and saw King Boo floating close by looking very upset. They stood up and Bow got close to Danny as he stood ready to defend her. I can't believe you. Not only did you leave the castle without my permission, but I find you with the savior on a date. And how dare you lie about doing the deed with him? Stupid spoil girl. King Boo shouted. And remove that disguise at once. He added. Danny could tell she was very afraid and pushed her behind him. Listen here, Your Highness, you have no right to call Bowsette on those things. You have been keeping her locked up in the castle. You kicked her mother out of the castle without thinking of how she feels. And more importantly, not treating her like your daughter. You're a tyrant. Danny told him. You little brat. I might be grateful for you stopping Pariah Dark as well as saving her from the eviler, but I outright refuse her to date you any longer. King Boo shouted. She not a prisoner. You can't treat her as if she nothing more than a puppet. Danny shouted, his eyes growling green. Bowsette looks very worried. She knew Danny was strong, but her father was on a different level. King Boo looks at Danny before standing up straight. How about this? We'll have a challenge. If I win, my daughter returns to the castle and she has to break up with you and never see you again. If you win, she will stay here with you and I'll leave her be. King Boo told him. Danny looks back at Bowsette and could see her worry look on her face. She didn't want to go back and never see him again. Danny turns back and King Boo and nodded. Fine. I accept those terms. He said. Very well, men. King Boo said and call out. Danny and Bowsette was shocked to see some boos appear around the area as King Boo looks at them. Step forward, dannyphantom. He said. Danny was about to, but Bowsette grabs his arm. Danny looks at her and could tell she was very worried. I'll be fine. He said and hugged her. Bowsette hugs back before letting go and turning back to normal. Danny steps up and faces King Boo. I'm going ghost. Danny said and turned into his ghost form. Danny stood ready before King Boo snaps his fingers. Danny watches as a giant Boo steps forward carrying a club and stood ready. Oh, I'm sorry. I did say I'll be in the challenge. King Boo smirks. Danny groans and stood ready. What you have to do is simple. Beat Bowsette and I'll leave my daughter in your hands. And one last thing, any ghost, Boo or otherwise, chooses to interfere with the match is no longer a member of the royal family. King Boo told him. Bowsette's eyes widen as she knew what that meant. If she so much tries to help Danny, she would lose her title as a princess, and since the other ghosts follow her orders and learn that she was no longer one, they would come back undoing her hard work. Danny looked back at Bowsette before facing Bowsette again. Bowsette, feel free to do as you please. King Boo told the giant Boo. Yes, King Boo. He said and started to walk towards Danny. Danny fire an ectoblast which Boo clay off its armor. Okay, new plan, Danny said and flew at the giant Boo. Danny threw a punch but it didn't do anything. Danny blinks in shocks before the giant Boo smacks him away with its club. Danny land on the ground and groans. Father. You're being unfair. Bowsette shouted, knowing what the giant Boo was wearing. Silences. I can have this fight go the way I want. King Boo shouted at her. What are you talking about? Danny asked. Danny. That armor was made from the toughest ghost metal in the ghost zone. Nothing can destroy it. She said. That means you cheater. You put me in a fight that I can't win. Danny said, placing it together. You could give up, but that means I'll take my daughter back to the castle. King Boo smirks. That no good cheater. He must have been planning this in case he would meet me. Danny thought and stood up. He was caught by surprise as Bowsette ran up to him and smacked him with its club again. Danny was knocked to the ground and started to get up before the giant Boo stepped on his legs. Danny screams as he knew both of his legs were now broken. The giant Boo stomps on them again, making Danny scream again. Bowsette could only watch in horror and helplessness as the giant Boo stomp on his legs again. It then steps back and picks Danny up. Danny tries to fight through the pain, but the giant Boo threw him up and whacked him like a baseball. Danny was sent flying, but the giant Boo flew past him and whacked him back towards the park. It appears in front of Danny again and whacks him to the ground, making a huge crater. Danny! Bowsette shouted. Danny was badly hurt. His legs were broken to almost beyond repair. The giant Boo had hit him so badly that he was coughing up both ectoplasm and blood. The giant Boo lands on the ground and was about to attack again. Enough! King Boo shouted. Bowsette took a step back as King Boo walks up to Danny, who was trying to stay awake. You lost, boy. I'm taking my daughter home. He said and turns to walk away. He felt something grabs his foot and looks back to see that Danny somehow moves to stop him. You, not taking her anywhere, Danny groans through the pain. Heh, stubborn. I'll admit, I thought you would have been knocked out on the first hit. Then again, you did fight Pariah Dark and win. King Boo said and pulled his foot from Danny. Come along, Bowsette, it's time to go home. He said to her. Bowsette looks at Danny, who was too weak to get back up and stop her father. She looks at him afraid and wasn't sure what to do. Then some of the guards surround her, shocking King Boo. What is the meaning of this? King Boo shouted. Sorry, Your Highness, but the princess is under the protection of the phantom rebels. The guard said as they threw off their armors to show their sign. Princess. Follow us. A rebel said and opened a portal. What about Danny? Bowsette asked. We got him, hurry through. He said. Bowsette looks and saw that another rebel was near Danny, who passes out and turns back into his human form. She saw the rebel open another portal and took him through it. Bowsette turns and ran through the portal that closes before King Boo could give an order. He floated there before seeing a hot chocolate stand. He flew up and took one and took a slip. After taking in the taste for a minute, he growls and threw it on the ground and screams. Rosus! Bowsette blinks as she steps out of the portal and found herself in Evershade Valley, a place in the ghost zone that very few know about. She turns and saw some of the rebels placing Danny's arms around them as they carefully carry him. Bowsette then follows them into Boo Woods, a place rumored to the birthplace of the Boos. They walked through the woods until they came to a mansion. Wait. How did you know we were in trouble? She asked. Someone very close to you had told us, and she has been looking forward to seeing you again. The rebel said. Bowsette looked confused as the rebels knock on the door and it opened to show a butler that she never seen before. Can I help you, dear sir and MDM? He said. Can we come in? The rebel asked. Very well, I shall inform my lady. He said as he let them in. I'm aware of guests, shivers. Everyone turns to look at the tops of stairs and Bowsette felt her breath leave her. There stood a woman with white hair, with blue and pink eyes, and a smile she still remembers after all those years. Mom? She asked, trying to hold the tears back. Rose steps downstairs and stood in front of her daughter. Bowsette couldn't hold them back before hugging her mother and letting her tears fall. Rose hugs her back, finally glad to feel her daughter again after 9 years. There, my little boo. Mama is here. She said as she let Bowsette's tears fall. She looks and saw Danny. She nodded at the rebels and they took him to the guest room to where he could recover. After 5 more minutes, Bowsette was able to stop her tears and face her mom. Mom, I'm so glad you're alright. She said. As am I. Rose smiles. Shivers, prepare the guest rooms for my daughter and her mate, Rose said. At once, my lady. Shivers said and left. Bowsette was so happy to see her mother again that she had so many questions, but wasn't sure where to start. Mom, how did Dad get his hands on a purple crystal he keeps on his crown? She finally asked. Bowsette that she saw her mother flinch at that but recover very quickly. I wish I could tell you, but not now. Everything will be answered in time. Rose told her. Bowsette wasn't sure what she meant but she then remembers Danny and hopes he was going to be okay. Bowsette sat next to Danny's bed as she heard that he was recovering and his legs would be fully healed tomorrow. Rose enters the room and places a hand on her shoulder. Unlike your father, I approve of you dating him. I saw the love form between you and I know it's strong. Rose said to her. Bowsette looks at Danny sadly. Rose notices could tell she wasn't ready to talk about it. Bowsette, don't blame yourself for what happened. I know he's going to be okay. Rose told her before kissing her forehead. Rose then turns to walk out of the room before Bowsette spoke. Mom. Rose turns around and looks at her. Thank you. She said and Rose smiles. You're welcome. She said and shut the door. The next morning, though the ghost zone doesn't have day or night, Bowsette was still by Danny's bed still watching over him. There was a knock and Rose stepped in. Rose could tell that her daughter was worried sick about Danny and stay awake all night watching over him. She walks up and saw that she fell asleep at some point and smiles. She really does love him. She thought as she thought back to when she and King Boo fell in love. She shook her head and carefully shook her daughter awake. Bowsette, it's time to wake up sweetie, Rose said sweetly. Bowsette groans and opens her eyes to see her mother in front of her. Mom. So it wasn't a dream? She asked. If it was, you would have never seen me again. Rose smiles. Wait. Danny. Bowsette yelled before Rose grabs her. Calm down, he's still resting, Rose told her and nodded at the sleeping boy. Bowsette sighs in relief and Rose looks back at her daughter. Bowsette, how about you get something to eat? I have Shivers make something for you. I'll join you shortly, okay? Rose told her. Okay, Bowsette said. As much as she wanted to stay, she was feeling hungry. She left the room but not before kissing Danny's cheek. Rose looks at Danny and sighs. She has been fighting the second half of your marriage well, but I fear it going to become worse if she keeps doing that, Rose said. Rose could tell that Bowsette also looks very guilty for what happened to Danny. She sighs and left the room, unknowing that Danny was close to waking up. Bowsette walks down the hall before seeing Shivers step up and bows at her. Princess Bowsette, your mother informs me that you will be eating together. She has asked me to serve you right away. He said. Bowsette nodded and follows him downstairs. Shivers. She asked. Yes, princess. He answers. Bowsette took a breath and readied herself for the answer. If someone you know was in trouble and you couldn't help them without giving up your title, would you do it? Is your title more important? Or is the person you care about is? She asked. Shivers was quiet and Bowsette could tell he was thinking about his answer. That a very difficult decision to make, princess. But if it was up to me, I say the person I care about is more important than the title. People can say what they want, but just knowing that I save a person mean more to me than anything. Shivers told her. Bowsette blinks in surprise. She wasn't accepting that answer. Shivers turned and saw that Bowsette gave off a smile as she thought of his answer. You have the same smile as your mother. Shivers said. Huh? Bowsette asked confused. Whenever your mother thought of you or even talk about you, she would always have a smile on her face. Why just mentioning you turns her gloomy day into a bright one? Shivers told her. Bowsette smiles again as they enter the dining room and she sat down. Shivers, you can call me Bowsette or Bow. She said. As you wish, Bowsette. Shivers bows and went to get their food. Danny groans as he woke up. He looks around and saw he was in a room he never has seen before. He sat up and felt that his legs were healed. That when everything caught up to him. Bowsette. Oh man, don't tell me that King Boo brought me here to keep me away from her. Danny said and got out of the bed. He almost fell over, due to the fact that his legs felt asleep. He turns into his ghost form and notices a window. He looks outside and saw he was in the ghost zone. I better find Bowsette and get out of here. Danny thought before heading to the door. He opens it and peeks out. Seeing the way was clear, Danny started to float down the hall, looking for Bowsette. He saw another door and opened it to see a library, and in the middle of it was a woman with white hair. Rose was reading a book hoping to find the answer to end this war with her husband. She just turns the page when she felt that she wasn't alone. She closes the book and faces Danny, who was shocked to see her. Danny couldn't believe what he was seeing. When this woman turns to face him, her face was just like Bowsette, though she had two different colored eyes. Oh, you're awake. That's good. She said. Danny snapped out of his shock and stood ready. Rose could tell he was lost and confused and knew she had to do something about it. Easy, you're safe. She said and started to walk towards him. Danny fired an ectoblast as a warning shot, making her stop. Stay back. I don't what you did, King Boo, but I won't fall for your tricks. Danny shouted before turning invisible. Rose sighs and notices that Danny's blast had knocked some of the books off their shelves. She knew why Danny did that and she didn't blame him. Danny rushes back to the room he was in and tries to think of a plan to find Bowsette and get back to the real world. He started to think before spotting a shadow from the door and thought one of King Boo's men was coming to get him. He looks around and notices a closet. Seeing no other choice, Danny quickly went in and shut the door. Bowsette had finished eating and Rose had informed Shivers about the mess in the library, which he decides to clean up right away. Rose then told her to go check up on Danny, which she did. Bowsette opens the door to Danny's room and was shocked to see his bed was empty. She was about to look for him when she heard something in the closet close by. Confused, she walks up to it and opens the door, only to be jumped on by Danny. The two lovers stared at each other in shock before Bowsette grew upset and started to hit his chest with her fists, not really hurting him. UJRK. Do you have any idea how worried I was? She yelled. Bowsette? What? Where? Danny tries to ask. And why are you not in bed? You still haven't recovered from my father's challenge. She added. Wait, we're not in his castle. Danny asked. Is everything all right? Both of them turns and saw Rose standing in front of the door looking a bit worried. Danny quickly pulls Bowsette to her feet and holds her close. Back off. He said and raised his hand to ready an ectoblast. Danny, why are you threatening my mother? Bowsette asked him. Wait, mother? Danny asked confused. He looks back and forth between the two before it clicks. This woman looks like Bowsette because she was her mother. Danny just attacks Bowsette's mother. Oops, Danny said, cursing him for not making a good impression with her. It's fine, Danny, I know you were lost and confused. How about we head to the study room and I'll answer any questions you have. Oh, and I hope you do mind some tea. Rose smiles before leaving the room. Danny just stood there before turning to Bowsette. Sorry. He said unsure. Bowsette shook her head and slaps him in the back of the head. Idiot. She said before pulling him into a kiss. Danny and Bowsette sat in the study room as Rose pours some tea for them. Danny took a sip and looks at Rose. Again, I'm so sorry about attacking you before. He said. Rose smiles and took a sip. It's fine, Danny. She said. Danny nods before remembering something. Hey, Rose. How did you and King Boo meet in the first place? Danny asked her. Bowsette has to admit she has been wondering how her parents meet in the first place. Rose set her cup down and sighs. Well, I should get this out of the way first. I'm not a ghost, I'm a human. She said. Danny nearly chokes on his tea as he heard that. What? He shouted and turns to Bowsette, who was just as shocked and drop her cup. Hold it, if you're a human that means Bowsette is a genuine born alpha. He shouted. Rose nods and being to tell the tale of how she and King Bao meet and feel in love. Amity Park, about 20 years ago. Rose sighs as she left school that day. She was considered an unusual girl, not only did she have white hair but her eyes were two different colors. Many people made fun of her for it. Not to mention her own parents were always busy and away on trips. Rose walks home before spotting a woman wearing royal clothes wait for her with a smile. Pardon me, but are you Rose Queen? She asked. Yes, and who are you? Rose answers and asks back. My name is Mila Dragoon. I've been watching you for some time and I think now would be a good time to give you something. She said and hand out an envelope. What's this? Rose asked. An invitation to Royal Gala. You look like you can use some fun. Mila said. Okay. Rose said unsure. Not to worry, dear, just wear your best dress and we'll pick you up around 7, Mila said before turning away. Hey, wait. Rose shouted and ran after her. When Rose ran around the corner, she was shocked to see that the woman disappear. Rose looked around for her but there was no sign of the woman. Rose blinks and looks at the invitation. What was that? She asked. Night Rose and Rose grabbed her white dress and put it on. She was still lost and confused about what happened but she couldn't deny she was very curious about this gala. She added some makeup to her face and heard her doorbell. She walks downstairs and saw Mila Dragoon waiting for her. Oh my! That dress looks so cute on you. She squealed. Thank you. Rose said. The dress used to belong to her grandmother. Rose was about to say something but Mila grabs her hand. Come along, dear, the gala can't wait for us. She said and pulled her out of her house. Rose blinks as they appear to travel through a portal and to a huge castle where she saw many people wearing royal clothes and dresses walking inside. Mila pulls her into the castle and Rose was shocked by the design of the ballroom. Welcome to Boo Castle. Home of the Boo royal family. Mila said. Rose blinks and was very confused. Wait, Boos? She asked. Oh, silly me. I forgot you never been to the Ghost Zone before. Mila said. Ghost Zone? Wait, all these people are, Rose trails off as she places it together. Yep. Everyone here is a ghost. Mila smiles. But why did you bring me here? Rose asked her. The human realm is so boring. Even you look like need to get away from it a bit. Mila said. Rose was very lost now. She was dragged from her home to a world she had no clue about all because this Mila woman wanted her to get away from her home. Rose looks like she was about to say something but Mila took notices of someone else and walks away. Rose sighs and decides to at least look around. She carefully passes people and saw that they did at least severe some drinks. She walks up before seeing a white-haired boy with pink eyes and wearing a royal suit. Rose couldn't help but blush at the sight of him. There weren't many boys back home that she found cute, but this one was different. Prince Boo sighs as he got away from another girl that tries to flirt with him. He grabs his drink and sighs again. He looks up and saw another girl looking at him. He was about to cover his face when he notices that she was blushing. But he was surprised to see that this girl had white hair like him and how two different colors of eyes. Not mention the white dress she was wearing match her hair. Feeling very shy but brave at the same time, he set down his drink and walks up to her. "Good evening, Mississippi," he said shyly. "Good evening," Rose said just as shyly. They just stood there awkwardly, not sure what else to say. Finally, Prince Boo took a breath and held out his hand. "Would you like to dance with me?" he asked her. Rose could only nod as she took his hand and they heading out to the dance floor. The two just dance on the floor looking at each other, both of them not sure what to do next. "So, what do you do?" Rose asked. "What?" Prince Boo asked surprise. "I mean, what are your hobbies?" she asked. "No one asked me that before," he said before smiling. "Well, I'm good at ice skating and skiing. When Halloween rolls around, I love to play a few tricks on people. All in good fun. Oh. And I love to read books," Prince Boo told her. Rose smiles as the two dance a bit more before heading over to the table and sat down. "Oh. Do forgive me, but I haven't gotten your name," he said. "Rose, Rose Queen." Rose smiles. "Rose, like the flower, right? Appealing but has thorns you don't want to touch." Prince Boo smiles. "Yes, and what's your name?" Rose asked. Prince Boo blinks, she didn't know his name. That was a first. Still, he smiles and looks at her. "I'm Prince Boo. The first Boo to use the name of our species without any extra words in it," he told her. "I'll call you Boo." Rose smiles. "So, what brings you here?" Prince Boo asked her. "I was sorta dragged here by someone named Mila Dragoon." Rose sighs. "Oh. Her. Well, I'm sorry about that. Mila has the habit of grabbing however she could find and drag them in the ghost zone. I could tell right away that you're not a ghost," Prince Boo said, knowing what happened. Yes, I'm a human from the human realm as I hear it was called," Rose said. I heard much about it but I never had the chance to see it," Prince Boo said. "Then we're even. I don't know much about this ghost zone, she said. Prince Boo smiles and started to talk about the ghost zone as Rose told him about the human realm. Unknowing this friendship would turn into something more. A few days later. Rose awoke the next morning and thought back to her last visit with Prince Boo. Last night, he sneaked away from his castle home and into the human realm. He found her and they just spent time hanging out. Rose had to get him to wear different clothes because he stood out too much in his royal prince suit. Prince Boo was surprised to see how different the clothes were in the human realm or grew to like them. Just last night the two ate dinner together and Prince Boo works up to nerve to ask her out. She said yes without a second thought. Rose walks downstairs and ate her breakfast and saw the note that said her parents were on another trip. But she didn't mind. Rose was walking down the street think of her new boyfriend that was also a ghost. She also didn't see Mila again after she drags her to the gala. But Rose was glad for her to drag her into something. She walks around the corner before coming to three boys she knew from school. "Well, look what we got here boys," the blonde-haired boy said. "Hello, Baxter," Rose said rolling her eyes. "That King Baxter," he said and steps up to her. "Whatever you sure, Richard," Rose said not scared of him. Richard steps forward and smiles at her, which she found very unsettling. "You know something, I've been wrong about you. You really are a queen, sure those eyes and white hair might be unusual but your body really does give off a queen vibe. He said and rose back away. 1. Not if you were the last man on earth. 2. I already have a boyfriend. And 3. We have a date later this week, so you're out of luck. Rose said. Really? Well, too bad. Grab her, boys. Richard shouted. Before Rose could get away, the two goons grab her arms and drag her into an alley. Richard steps up and started to smell her. Rose quickly kick him in the family jewels, making him fall and grab them as the two goons try not to laugh. Hold her. He shouted and walks up to her. Rose looked really worried as Richard was about to pull her shirt off before a voice broke through and stopped him. Hey! They all look and saw Prince Boo standing in front of the alley looking very upset. Let her go. He yelled at them. Well, looks like someone wants to play the hero, Richard said and walks up to him. I said let her go. Prince Boo said, not backing down. And what will you do if I don't? Richard asked, smirking. Prince Boo didn't say anything and punched him in the stomach, knocking the breath out of him. The two goons watch in shock as Richard took a few steps back, gagging for air. He was able to get it back and growls at him. You're dead. He shouted and rushed at him. Prince Boo dodges the punch before whispering something to him. I'm already dead. He said before hitting the back of his neck, knocking him out. He then turns to the two goons who were shocked by what they just saw. So, am I going to repeat myself? He asked them. The two let go of her and ran out of the alley. Prince Boo sighs and floated up to her. Are you alright? He asked her. Yes, thank you, Boo. She said, smiling. I'm glad to hear that, he started to say before Rose kisses him. Prince Boo blinks in surprise before returning the kiss. They broke and smiles. I want to save that after our date, but you deserve it now for saving me, Rose said. I won't let anyone hurt you, my little Rose. Prince Boo told her. So alright folks, that's all for today. Stay tuned for part 5. Do subscribe, like and share for more such videos. Also check out the story and Phantom Fan 21 on fanfiction.net. Press the bell icon to be notified first on release. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.